Welcome to Travel with Sean. I'm Sean, and today we are in Prenzlau, Germany, north of Berlin, a town dating back to the 1100s.
The first phase of constructing Prenzlau's city walls began in 1287. They were strengthened and expanded in the 14th century. Most of the walls were destroyed in the late 19th century as ordered by the Prussian government. Stettiner Tor, or Stettin Gate in English, built in 1306, was the northern gate leading to the Prussian city of Stettin, which is now Szczecin, Poland. It originally had a square wooden defensive tower, but that burned down in the city fire of 1483. The popular use of firearms near the end of the 15th century required changes to the city's walls and gates, so the Stettin Gate Tower was rebuilt in a round shape to offer as little surface area as possible for enemy fire. Prenzlau is the administrative seat of the Uckermark district in the northern German state of Brandenburg, on the banks of Lake Uckersee. The place name is of Slavic origin and means Przemysław's settlement. Przemysław was a common given name among Slavic men. A settlement of Slavic people began here in the 7th century. It officially became a town in 1234 by declaration of the Duke of Pomerania. Prenzlau was part of the territory awarded to Sweden for its 1645 victory in the 30 Years' War. About 30 years later, it was restored to Brandenburg, Prussia, following another war. Napoleon conquered Prenzlau in 1806 when the Prussian general surrendered his 12,000 troops without a fight. Prenzlau Abbey was originally built as a Dominican monastery in about 1275. By 1308, it had become the wealthiest monastery in the Brandenburg Margraviate, which was the name of the region. The abbey's Gothic church was consecrated in 1343, marking its completion as a significant place of worship. A devastating fire in 1519 caused severe damage and economic hardship, which the community was not able to overcome. This resulted in the closure of the Dominican order in Prenzlau by 1545. In 1575, the church found new life as part of the Protestant St. Nicholas Parish, adopting the name St. Nicholas Church, or Nikolaikirche in German. Later, beginning in 1716, it also served as a garrison church for the 12th Prussian Infantry Unit. It likely continued in this role until the unit was disbanded upon the conclusion of World War I in 1918. Today, this beautifully restored site invites visitors to explore its rich history, from its monastic roots to the Protestant Reformation and its later military association. We've entered the cloisters of Prenzlau Abbey, an area that gives the abbey its name. Cloisters are porticos lined with individual rooms where monks once slept, prayed, and carried out their daily duties. Over the centuries, the abbey has undergone extensive restoration to preserve its history. Today, it serves as a museum, allowing visitors to explore its rich architectural and cultural heritage. This is the Hexenturm, or Witches' Tower, but its history has nothing to do with witches. Witches' Tower is a name commonly given to medieval towers used as prisons or dungeons. Built in 1495, this one stands about 82 feet high. 2 levels served as dungeons, one for minor criminals and another for those accused of more serious crimes. The Hexenturm is one of 2 round towers that remain on the east side of Prenzlau's city wall. Until 18th century, the executioner's home and stables were located right next to the tower, likely where this park is today. Steintorturm, or Stone Gate Tower, was built in 1306 as part of the city's fortifications. The stone gate, Steintor, built in 1450, was located about where the Rathaus, City Hall, currently is, but was demolished in 1835 because it was falling apart. St. Sabine's Church is the oldest one in Prenzlau and was built near the end of the 12th century. The settlement it was built for on the banks of Ukersee Lake developed into the town of Prenzlau in the early 13th century. In 1816, the church was closed because a flood washed away about half of the church, which is ironic since the church's namesake, Saint Sabine, is the patron saint against floods. Marienkirche, or St. Mary's Church in English, is the main Protestant parish church in town, and it is among the most ornate of the brick Gothic churches in northern Germany. This brick structure is the second in its place and was built over the course of about 50 years, with reconstruction being completed in 1340. Its impressive towers reach a height of about 210 and 223 feet. Overall, Marienkirche is a stunning example of North German brick Gothic architecture. After Swedish King Gustav II was killed in battle during the 30 Years' War, his body laid in state inside Marienkirche from December 20 through December 22, 1632, before continuing its journey to Stockholm for burial. The interior of the church was burned out after the arrival of Soviet Union's Red Army in 1945. Repairs began in 1970, but were not completed until 1997, and regular worship services did not resume until the fall of 2021. A wealthy aristocratic member of the parish buried his wife near the main altar in 1581 and paid for a bell to be rung every day at 2 p.m., the hour of her death, to keep her memory alive. The bell rang daily until funds ran out in 1918. In front of Marienkirche is a statue of Martin Luther. Installed in 1903, it is a replica of the statue in the German city of Worms that was created 45 years earlier. Heiliggeistkapelle, or Holy Spirit Chapel in English, was built in the early 14th century as a prayer house for a neighboring hospital. It is now a museum exhibition center, and it's located right next to Mitteltorturm. Mitteltorturm, whose name means Middle Gate Tower in English, was built adjacent to the Middle Gate in the 15th century with a height of about 98 feet. The brick structure next to the tower now, with the gate passage, was constructed in 1928 to symbolize the gate that was likely demolished in the 19th century.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for traveling along with me. As always, I appreciate your support. Until next time, tschüss, auf Wiedersehen, bye-bye.